Dear Lord, as we gather here tonight as city council members and citizens of St. Mary's, let us try to do the very, very best we can for our city, Lord. Make the decisions that we think are in the best of the majority of the people, or hopefully all the people. Dear Lord, please bless us as we go through our meeting tonight and meetings in the future. And in these things we ask in thy name. Amen.
Amen. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Mr. Connor. Madam Clerk, could we have the roll call?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, sir. Councilman Jones, post 1.
I'm here.
Councilman Connor, post 2.
Present.
Councilman Ingram, post 3.
Here.
Councilman Riley, post 4.
Present.
Councilman Rassi, post 5.
Present.
Councilman James, post 6.
I'm here.
Mayor Morrissey.
I'm here.
Sir, we have a quorum.
Thank you. And Madam Clerk, quorum means 6 today?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. I need council for a motion for November 4th, 2024, City Council meeting minutes and special call City Council minutes.
So moved.
Second.
All right, it was a tie, I think.
You had it already first. He was motion. You did.
All right, you win. All right, and I heard a second from Ms. James.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Made it easy.
All right, any corrections, et cetera? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstained? Madam Clerk, mark that as unanimous,
Yes,
please.
sir.
All right, and we're going to move into presentations, and the first thing I am going to do is we have a proclamation for Small Business Saturday. Candace? And so, whereas St. Mary's, Georgia celebrates our local small businesses and the contributions that they make to our local economy and community, according to the United States Small Business Administration, there are 34.7 million small businesses in the United States. They represent 99.7% of firms with paid employees, and they are responsible for 61.1% of net new jobs created since 1995. And whereas small businesses employ 45.9% of the employees in the private sector in the United States, 68 cents of every dollar spent at a small business stays in the local community. And whereas consumers reported that Small Business Saturday made them want to shop and dine at small, independently owned retailers and restaurants all year long, and whereas St. Mary's supports our local businesses that create jobs, boost our local economy, and preserve our communities, and whereas advocacy groups, as well as public and private organizations across the country, have endorsed the Saturday after Thanksgiving as Small Business Saturday. Now, therefore, I, John F. Morrissey, Mayor of St. Mary's, do hereby proclaim November 30th, 2024 as Small Business Saturday. Did you want to add anything, Candace?
I think you covered it.
Okay. Thank you. All right, Mr. Horton, you're on deck for new city website redesign.
Good evening, Mayor, Council, and citizens. We've been very excited about what we're fixing to present to you. Staff has worked very hard. Mr. Hoster has worked extremely hard at this, and I think you're going to be pleased with what you see. I'm going to shut up, and I'm going to allow him the opportunity to show you what we've come up with. So, and he's going to do it all from there. So,
can everybody hear me? All right, good evening, folks. I'm Corey Hoster, the St. Mary's IT Coordinator, and I want to welcome you all to the introduction to the new St. Mary's website. So, our current website has been running since 2016. It has served the community well. Let's take a look at the new website. Good. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the new City of St. Mary's website. Let's show some of the new features we have on this site and give you a sneak peek of what is to come. This site will be going live shortly. So one of the features we included is the idea of a mega menu for navigation. So now, when you go to a certain drop-down, you're no longer having a giant menu that takes up your entire cell phone screen or your phone screen. Another feature we have here will be going to our social media links on the top of the page for Facebook and YouTube. We also have the same thing down at the very bottom of the page. As we scroll past the video background for the website, you will notice we have these quick action tiles. These will take you to things such as the citizen complaint form, citizen input form, city projects, and other very important, well-used things on the website. Moving past this mode, we have our latest news and events feature. And moving on past that, we come to our current and upcoming events and meetings. The new meetings and calendar module has the ability to make a calendar link for yourself and also has a map integrated to show where these things are taking place at. One of the big things below this is this right here, the e-notify section. This will give the user the ability to go ahead and put their email address in or their phone number and receive an update whenever the calendar changes, the alert box changes, or a news event is posted. Moving down past that, we have some information about the city and a lovely paragraph written about our city as an introduction to what St. Mary's is and who we are about. One of the big things for this currently is our accessibility module. Scrolling back up, I'll show you. In the lower left-hand corner, we're able to accommodate a large variety of needs from text sizing to changing saturation and color content to make it more easily accessible for the public to view. We also have the ability to translate this website in different languages as well with a push of this button here. So, let's take a little deeper look. Let me show you the city's project page. As we come here, we will have our hosted projects and other projects will be listed in a drop-down menu to make this a little more easy to read, a little more concise, and a little smaller of a page in general. And these will take you to the storyboard as they're developed. I'm going to show off the city's community development page. Our new department pages all feature the contact information in the left-hand side of the photo of the department head. We have quick links to the top for more easily used and accessed parts of these website pages. And we also have more information down below that. We've also taken the mayor and city council page and condensed that into one page as well, with a similar mindset of having drop downs for all of their biographies for everyone to view. One of the big things with the current website that we looked at going forward is that we want to make this accessible. We also want to make sure this is going to be a living and breathing thing. This will not be something that will stagnate. We're going to maintain it, keep up with it. One thing is you don't always have a chance to have a do-over or a second start. So with the IT department, we're going to strive to make sure we're good stewards of this new website that we have been given and go forward. Ladies and gentlemen, that's what I have.
There will be continual changes. The project list will be added to on a real regular basis. We wanted to get it out so folks could see it because we're at that point. We've got something we can use now. We're already working on all of our other projects to put them in as a part of the storyboards. We're also working on dashboards for several of our departments so you can see the growth of residential homes in the city of St. Mary's and comparing to what was done last year to where we're at now. Look at some of those financials that are associated with that. The monthly report that you get on a monthly basis, council, you'll be able to see it with a quick look at the dashboard and be able to see it and help you formulate some of your processing. So just want to make sure everybody's aware we're not done with this by no shape, form, imagination, but that's some things to look for, and we're probably not long on the dashboards and not long on some more of those other projects. So please stay tuned. Use the notify me button on the bottom and it'll make you aware of any changes that comes to that site. So we're excited. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Corey.
I guess as you get closer to a launch date, an idea about a launch date.
We are hoping for the end of the week. Yes, sir. We've got to get back with Revised and talk with them. And we got a couple little things that we've got to do, but it should be rolling out by the end of the week.
Outstanding.
Worth the wait.
Good. Question, does the new website contains the information about when St. Mary's was organized? And
I think there may be,
In parts, yes.
okay, well, there should be.
yes. We'll make sure we capture that and make sure it's on there. Maybe we can make a history page or something of those nature. Okay? Any other questions?
All right, so how does this switchover work when the citizens go to St. Mary's VA.gov?
That's, they go just like they've always done, and when the switch comes, a new site will come up.
Instead of the old?
Correct. Yep. Okay?
Anybody, Q&A here, anybody?
No,
Thank you,
I
Mr.
just want
Long.
to say it's been worth the wait. Thank you. Where'd he go?
Looks good.
Thank you.
He's,
You said dashboards? Thank you.
yes.
Yeah.
And we've actually got, the program that's doing the storyboards actually does that, and Miss Jamie had the forethought of having that lined up and ready to roll. But we're working through that,
Thank you.
getting staff trained on it as well, of being able to keep that up.
Thank you.
All right. Good news. Finally coming to conclusion. Thank you, Corey. We have board announcement for term expiration for the Southeast Georgia Consolidated Housing Authority. And we have a board appointments for tax allocation district number 3. Board appointment vacancies for Orange Hall Management Committee. And we do have an applicant, correct, ma'am?
Yes, sir.
All right, and since there is one, do we just need a motion from one of our members?
Yeah, if council wouldn't mind making a motion to accept it. We
Yeah.
had somebody who was very eager, but the deadline had passed, so if you would make a motion to accept it before.
So, who will?
I'll make that motion.
Second. So I've got Ms. James and Mr. Connor?
Yes, sir.
All right. You need-
Can we,
Yes, sir.
I would like to recommend that we appoint her as chair of the Orange Hall Committee, taking Robin's place,
Oh, okay. So
Okay.
she has to go into the.
if you're all okay with that.
First motion and then.
So as part of the motion,
Oh, she said she didn't hear a second
I
for the
heard the
first.
first to accept it because it was late, and then the second,
Mr. Connor.
Mr. Connor, and I just didn't hear the vote, okay.
Okay, and the motion includes the chairman position? Or not?
The
I
chairman.
thought the motion was to accept it because it was late, I'm sorry.
So we'll have to have another motion.
Yes, sir, second.
So let's just do that, so it's to accept it. Any other comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstained? Madam Clerk, that's unanimous.
Yes,
Now
sir.
I need a motion for her position.
I make the motion to make her chair of the Orange Hall Committee, please.
Second. Mr. Rassi and a second from Mr. Riley. Any conversation, comments? Other than thank you, is she, by chance, she's here tonight?
I don't see her.
She's watching.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstained? Madam Clerk, mark that as unanimous.
Yes, sir.
Okay. And then we have board appointments for the Camden County Board of Education, Sex Education, and Structural Review Committee, Orange Hall Management Committee, and St. Mary's Library Board. And as always, encourage anybody that's interested to be on anything here on this page to contact the city clerk if you'd like to get the form, and she can help you with any kind of questions you might have about your application. We welcome you, all of you. Thank you. All right, and now we do have a report of the boards and authorities, and this is the Development Authority of St. Mary's annual report. And Mr. Stephen Hahn is the chairperson. Steve, welcome.
Good evening, Mayor, Council, Mr. Horton, Charlie, I hope the funeral went well. And Mr. Blackerby, I didn't know if you were running for office or not tonight, so. The Development Authority, as you know, was put into play many, many years ago, and was kind of static for many, many years. But I want to paraphrase a recent statement by Mr. Horton at one of our meetings that he said, you know, things are really turning around. He says things are clicking. And I think that's not only for the Development Authority, but it's also for the whole city of St. Mary's. We saw a perfect example with Corey in the website. It's been a long time coming, and it's first class. I think we've got it together. I was out on near the Agape Coleraine Church a couple weeks ago, and there was a gentleman thought he wanted to drive 80 mile an hour in bumper-to-bumper traffic, and there was a huge accident. Surprised nobody got killed. The car flipped and went in the ditch and that. My point is, Chief Galloway and Chief Tom's people showed up instantaneously and performed like they had been on the job for 20 years. They had that road shut down. They had traffic controlled. They had the bus there and taking care of the people. It was like, wow, this is awesome. Every department in this city has improved tremendously. I've had 2 builders recently out at the house, and they said, you know what? We're getting stuff turned around in 2 days over in community development. Things are clicking. Things are turning around. Your Main Street office with Candace has done an outstanding job, just an outstanding job working with our local retail and commercial interest and the events that have gone on. St. Mary's is moving forward. We're clicking on all cylinders, as well as the Development Authority. We've had a really good year. I've included my report in your packet right there for you to take a look at some of the specifics, but I think the thing I wanted to really go over is our initiatives that we are actually working and doing that will benefit the city. We have worked with the Weed Street project now for almost 2.5 years, very closely. And we put in phase 1, which was everything from dealing with DNR and getting it cleaned up and getting an LDP and getting our demo ready to schedule, as well as our asbestos mitigation. I'm pleased to report that I've learned that the LDP permit has been approved and we can start demo, which is the last phase of the project itself. And and thank you very much to Mr. Riley, who he and Linda Williams took this project up when Dave left.
About 2014.
2014, 2015, and now we're actually moving in a direction which I think shows a lot of progress and promise for us in the future. As well as we brought Coastal Georgia College on board, as well as the Camden County School Board want to be partners in this, so I think this project is really showing a lot of promise for us down the road. In addition, our property on Douglas Street, which we have been leasing over the last 1.5 years, providing funds for the Development Authority to utilize in its main goal. The individual company who was leasing it has exercised their option to purchase it, and we're currently in due diligence in that, with due diligence ending the second week of December. Should have more on that later. And the other concept that I've been working on for 5 years has come around for, I think, the city, but also its boards and committees. We're working together now. It's not everybody out there on his own. We're working in conjunction right now with the DDA and the JDA on putting together a package for economic development for small and medium-sized retailers and businesses to give them some advantages in either opening a business or improving their business. The new chairman of the DDA, Cheryl Carter, along with James Coughlin and myself, and we have put together with some of our individuals, and I'd like to name them, Dennis Moore and Sean Myers, have worked very, very closely, and I think they've really put a great package together for a grant in conjunction also with DDA's grants. We should be able to help local small businesses move forward in their enterprises as well. And James Coughlin has been kind enough to join us with that, so we have a complete sheet from their low-interest loans down to our grants, where we have realized, and along with some other individuals on our board, especially Tommy Sailors, I'd like to thank, he's here, and Ken Jelly here as well tonight. We've all been involved in moving this forward. Dennis Moore has worked with Corey, and our section of the new website has been put together, and it's first class because it lets the residents know that what we do as a board, how we're approaching things, and things that we have in the works that are working on trying to bring forward things to help the economy of the city of St. Mary's. In addition, we've met all the training requirements from the DCA. As you know, we sponsored the bond for the Commerce Center, and I'd like to say that I went over to see the Griffin family Friday after our grand opening, and they were thrilled. They said it was probably the best reception they have ever gotten in any city in Georgia that they've been to, and I'm real happy because that's just the beginning. With Marina Martin's right around the corner and the things that she has planned, again, St. Mary's is clicking on all cylinders. We are moving forward. And I also want to thank all of you up there. You've been extremely supportive. You have been there, you're out there, and you've pushed the people moving forward economically, as well as keeping the ambiance of our city, which is very important in the small town field. I had 6 of my high school graduates come visit me 2 weeks ago. Yes, there was electricity when I graduated from high school.
Wow.
They were from Michigan and Ohio and Pennsylvania. I graduated in '69. And they had never heard of us. Not one of them. Everyone, they flew in on a Thursday morning, one on Wednesday, and I gave them the tour. Every restaurant, every shop. The lady down at the ice cream shop loved them because they must have spent $1,000 in there. But they all kept saying, how come nobody knows? This place is amazing. It's wonderful. The restaurants, I sent them out to the island one day. We went over and viewed Keegan's house and walked downtown. We went to the graveyard. They were floored. They said, this place, I hope stays like this forever. And I said, well, we're working on it, but we're trying to make a few improvements here and there. But I'm just telling you, St. Mary's is clicking. We're on all cylinders and we're moving forward. And we're all a part of it now and we're all cooperating. Special thanks to Mr. Horton. He's been very supportive of our committee and our group, and he's given us some good advice. With that, I'll answer any questions that you might have.
Council?
Great job.
I think.
And yes, Artie, I know I owe you breakfast, so I'll pay you off later. Thank you for your time.
We
Yes.
need to thank you and the committee members, and a couple that you mentioned that are actually here today.
Yeah, I have Tommy Sailors over here, Ken Jelly right here, and Mr. Riley, who's the heart and soul of our group, and thank you again. Appreciate it.
Yeah, so I do thank you for the affirmation about how all the different groups work together. And this is the culmination, just not right now, but even before this, of many years of planning and work to get us to a point where we're like this. And that I think the biggest thing, and you heard me talk about people do the same thing that you, to us that I think you've heard about, which is that now I want ice cream. But well, let me go back to it. It's an affirmation of the fact that all of the hard work and the long periods of, effort and collaboration is paying off. And it's not just right here. It's within the county and the Joint Development Authority, and a lot of work that happens with our staff, but also our council people that, interact with the regional and state leadership to help get what we can to, move us along. And we're going to continue to do that. We're going to do more.
We're going to do more, and I see it, and I just get up every morning now, and you just have a little bit of energy, and you have a little bit of, boy, things are going great. And I want to tell you that you've worked very hard. I know Dave has worked on Weed Street for almost 9 years, but things are moving and clicking, and be proud that we live in St. Mary's, and you should be proud that you're the council of St. Mary's. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right, Council, I'm sorry, I didn't have my mic on before earlier, folks. I just realized. I'd like to set the consent agenda, and as usual, make sure I've got it all correct here. There's no new old business, but we have new business items. The first is Municipal Court Collection Services Agreement.
Consent.
And then we have a Code of Conduct update, St. Mary's Senior Center.
Can I
Discuss.
interject here,
Yes, sir.
if it's okay, Mayor? I would like to remove the agenda item B regarding the new
We do that, but we would do that in,
discussion.
at the agenda setting.
Okay.
So,
Discuss.
we'll discuss and then we'll
Okay.
take it to the agenda.
Yep.
Okay. Resolution to complete application and participation agreement for first responder PTSD coverage.
Consent.
Great program. The Volker Incorporated Task Order Number 11.
Consent.
And England, Timms and Miller Incorporated Task Order Number 5.
Consent.
Now, we've got a budget ordinance amendment, general fund, and Camden County Public Service Authority fund for PSA agreement.
Consent.
And then we have a budget ordinance amendment, general fund, police school resource officer equipment.
Consent.
And then we have a minor subdivision, final plat request for tax parcel, Jocelyn Homes Incorporated, Satilla Office Park, parcel 121J005.
Consent.
Okay, and so the consent agenda consists of items A, C, D, E, F, G, and H. Can I have a motion?
Motion to approve the consent agenda is read.
Second.
Okay, Mr. Riley and, was it you, Artie? Yeah, okay. Mr. Jones. Any discussion or comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstained? Madam Clerk, that's unanimous. And now we got now we go on to approval of the agenda and as set, and we have one item, Code of Conduct update, St. Mary's Senior Center. Mr. Rassi, did you have something you want to say?
No, I'll just wait.
No, this is,
Yeah.
this is.
Can you do it?
See, I'm gonna read this. I would like,
If you, you had something to say about this item, otherwise it's going to go on.
yeah. No, I would like to remove the agenda item B regarding the new senior code of conduct for tonight's agenda. I only saw this item over the weekend and have had no time to discuss it with the senior members. I have had relationships with many seniors, and I'm not comfortable discussing this without speaking with some of them first and to determine their views.
Okay. So I have a motion from Mr. Rassi on item B, Code of Conduct. I have a second.
Second.
Okay, I got Mr. Riley.
Let's all look at them.
I could really use an ice cream sandwich. I know you. All right, discussion. All right, and all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstained? All right, Madam Clerk, that's unanimous.
Yes, sir.
Now we have granting audience to the public on agenda items only. As you come up, give your name and address, and respect the 5-minute time limit.
By removing Bravo, does that mean we can't talk about it?
You can talk about it at the second granting audience to the public. Because it's not on the agenda. Okay. All right. All right. Yes, ma'am?
Hi, everyone. Good evening. My name is Colleen Danos, and I live on 109 Hamlet Circle in St. Mary's. I was just wondering about if Mr. Steve Hahn could elaborate on the Weed Street project. I wasn't really familiar with that.
All right. Anyone else? Okay, so I'm closing out the granting audience to the public so I can respond now to that. And if you speak, I think, speak with Mr. Hahn afterwards would be the best. And then particular questions, he can probably answer for you. Steve, if you can stay. Okay. All right, thank you. All right, Mr. Horton.
Good evening, Mayor, Council, and citizens. First thing I'd like to do is, for those of you that may be interested, November the 21st at 9 a.m. till 12 p.m., the new City Hall will be open to the public for your shopping pleasure. If you're interested in any of the furnitures or furnishings that existed with Express Scripts, this will be your opportunity if you're buying ones and twos to come. Cash will be accepted and credit only. That will be how we'll take that. If you're looking to purchase large quantities of said items, later that afternoon from 1 to 4, and then again on the following day, on the 22nd, from 8 to 3, the building will be open and we'll be taking bids for, what's the word? Lots. Thank you. Lots of furniture. So please come out and enjoy your shopping. Maybe you can find Christmas in there or something. I don't know.
Okay.
It's November what?
That would be November the 21st,
Which is
9 a.m. to 12 p.m.
this week, Thursday.
That would be when the 21st is, yes, sir.
This week, Thursday. You're going to put it on the website?
Yes, sir. And on Facebook and everything else, you will see this flyer.
Is it, do you think it's too late to get it in the paper, or did you think about putting it in the paper?
It's in the paper, sir.
Okay.
So in an effort to move along, because I know we're pushed for time, Public Works, the dedication ceremony was held on November the 15th for our median project. My understanding is they've also received the beautification award as well.
I was going to say, I don't know if they're coming to tell everybody.
There is a press release that is going out for our folks in the press. So, but we'll also get that out as
It
well.
was a national award.
Yes,
Right, so for the
correct.
median redo in front of the hotel.
Some of the folks have been asking about what's going on with Orange Hall. Looks like there's some digging and stuff going on there. If you'll remember, we just completed the sprinkler system. The garden club is planning for the flower beds along excuse me, along the walkway and in front of the building. And so that's what's happening there. Moving ahead, and I apologize for having to change the way the paper read, but you'll understand in a minute. Public Works staffing level. They normally have, when they're completely staffed, they would have 44 positions and 4 part-time positions. Currently, there's 4 full-time vacancies and 2 part-time vacancies. And 2 part-time vacancies are the janitorial positions.
And the 4 vacancies, are they in one particular department?
They're spread out through the organization. But here's the good news. 4 full-time individuals are going through the process of hiring, which means the medical background and the background checks and everything else. So we're not going to use the
So
word, but we're looking good.
They're fairly far along on the path and they're not likely to,
Well, it's some of them, there's a couple of them that's early in the process, and there's a couple of them that are a little further along. Some other good news from Public Works, the new VACCON that was in the budget has arrived, has been received. Tomorrow, myself,
so
sir?
for the public, what does the VACCON do?
The VACCON is the large truck that's got the big tank on the back, and it cleans the sewer lines. I did good, y'all.
Is this in addition to or a replacement?
This will ultimately be a replacement. So, tomorrow we'll be meeting with FEMA, doing the scoping for Hurricane Helene, working on getting some reimbursement for some of our expenses during that. A lot of folks may have received letters concerning the lead service inventory that the city is currently undertaking. There's been information put out on Facebook explaining what that's for. It's a mandate by the federal government, and so please look out for that. White lighting. White lighting has been moved till December 4th due to voting precinct. That's moving it 1 day. Okay? That's to ensure that there's accessibility to the voting precinct, which is located at our visitor center. The Borough Bridge, Public Works is working on utility submittals to DOT for preliminary concept plans. The LMIG bids, which is for the roadways, will be are due on November 26th. The senior center parking lot bids are due on December 10th. The tree inventory project is due on December, sir?
For everybody, the Burrell Boulevard Bridge.
Yes, sir.
I think we heard that that's 2 years out for
Well,
completion.
they're moving at a very good pace, and they're being very aggressive with their project.
Just to give public some
That's, yes,
expectation.
yes. The 27, I think, is when it's slated for that. The tree inventory project will begin on December 3rd. Volkert is still working on the generator grant request for bids for the generators. Public Works is working on developing a request for bids for potential mowing contracts that we discussed at our last council meeting. Georgia Power is actively working on a plan to repair the street lights downtown that are currently inoperable.
Good.
So that is, it hasn't slipped by the way, that is a weekly phone call that is being made. Public Works continues to bring up the striping issues at 40 and 40 to DOT, as well as general cleanup along the project route. If you have been through there sometime today, you may have noticed there has been some striping going on. So just FYI.
Was that us or GDOT?
That's GDOT. Okay. Then finance, the final fiscal year 2024 financial report will be given at the December 2nd council meeting by Trey Scott with Malden and Jenkins. The 2024 millage rate and 5-year millage rate history has been advertised and will be voted on the December 2nd meeting as well. Property bills will not be sent out until after the millage rate has been approved, but they are in the background working diligently to be able to get those out as quick as possible. Tourism, vendor review meeting with Epsilon for prospective digital advertising services in 25. They're still conducting the weekly new military member orientations. The St. Mary's, Cumberland Island, Georgia has been featured in 69 published results, generating just over 3.1 billion total impressions and 279 million total estimated value from July to November 18, 2024. The World Atlas, these 12 towns in Georgia were ranked among U.S. favorites in 24 for 8.8 million impressions. Over 10 billion impressions for the best of article that included Cumberland Island and Yahoo News and Yahoo News UK and Business Insider. They will also, the St. Mary's Visitors Bureau will be submitting their annual report at the December 2nd council meeting as well. The city, St. Mary's, received an outstanding streetscape revitalization grant award for 24 for the Tree Board and Public Works Median-scape pilot project at the Lemuel Johnson Median Park. The Georgia Tree Council press release was sent to the Tribune of Georgia and the Brunswick News. That was the award we were just speaking about. Community development. If you'll remember, we talked about the link for the public to be able to go on to the community development site and answer some questions in regards to the master plan. Folks, that's going to be there both on the old site and the new site, so please take advantage of that. We want your input. Community development. The department is preparing to begin work on our National Coastal Resiliency Fund grant with Phase 1. That's the planning and engineering for the Spine project. There will be a public engagement component of this work, and those who are interested in engaging are asked to contact community development. Okay?
How do you do that?
Sir?
How do you do that?
You can pick up a phone and call, or you can send us an email to community development, and we'll be happy to help. That's getting real close to being the end of my report. If you'll go back to the next last page, Mayor and Council, you'll see an updated list of current task orders with Volkert and with ETM and the monies that are associated with them. I'm not going to spend a lot of time because we're going to also at our next council meeting have a presentation by Volkert updating us on all the projects.
Good.
Okay?
Mr. Horton, you indicated there is some activity going on the south side of St. Mary's
There's
Road.
activity actually going on both sides, sir. They are currently in the process of doing their timbering, their harvesting of the pine trees that are there. And
Is this
soon
Rayonier?
thereafter, there's going to be movement of dirt.
Yeah, is Rayonier doing that?
Rayonier's doing the harvesting of the timber, yes, sir. And we're in the process of working through some of the drawings and preliminaries. So that is a very active project.
So, because I know a lot of us saw a whole series of new stakes up and down St. Mary's Road there.
Yes, sir.
Just wanted to make sure that.
Yes, sir.
everybody knew that That's all part of what's coming.
It's
right?
part of it.
Good, okay.
Any questions?
For the city manager?
Great job.
Thank you very much.
I do have one quick question. There is a wire across the tree where the bicycle repair is when you go into the waterfront park. And I was down there earlier today, and a couple of citizens asked, it looks
Okay.
like it may be something that's going to be buried eventually.
That may be the internet connection. We were having some issues
That's what
there.
it looks like.
And that was
Okay.
to be able to get the cameras in the park up.
Okay,
But
so-
we'll certainly look at it and get it addressed as quick as possible.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Anything else, ladies and gentlemen?
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, we're going to move to granting audience to the public, and if anybody would like to speak, give us your name and address, and respect the 5-minute time limit, please. Thank you.
Larry White, 102 Sylvia's Court in St. Mary's. On this sale for excess material at the new City Hall that runs for the 21st morning, is that a bid or just, do we see how much we want to pay for it? You can't answer me now, those are.
Yeah, give it Charlie.
All right. Second item, again, I'll bring it up. I'd like to know if there's any new information on the old movie theater there by the shopping center. It's been sitting empty now, and maybe one of the development authorities, you might talk to them and ask them if they got anything in mind for that. Third item, we've got a runoff election coming up starting Monday morning on the 25th through Friday, and I'm not sure if they have early voting on Saturday or not. I don't think so. But there's two positions in St. Mary's that's in the runoff election, the position of the mayor and for council seat number 5. So please, if you want to see some action, you got to get out there and vote. I realize that at runoff elections, you usually get a really low turnout from voters in the area. But we need to get out and vote if you want to see who we want to get into the seats. Another item, I'm glad you tabled this code of conduct for the senior center, Alan, because nobody's come, that I know of, nobody's come to talk to the seniors about that. And looking at the packet that was given to you, it was almost mimicking several other codes of conduct for other senior centers around in the state. And I'm not sure that it should be the same for participants as it would be for the staff. I think there should be a different code of conduct for the staff than there is for the participants at the senior center. And I don't know if anybody's noticed it yet, but at the corner of St. Mary's Road and Charlie Smith Highway, just right across from the base, they're putting a new solar panel field in there. And as far as I know, that's also for the base. I was told that the other night. That's going to be for the base itself, not for general public. Thank you.
I don't think so.
I know.
No, I don't think so.
They said if they needed to, they could. They said if they needed to, they could.
Yes, ma'am.
Hi, my name's Diane Torgerson. I live at 1100 Gilbert Street here in St. Mary's. And I echo some of the same responses that this gentleman before me talked about. I think when you have a code of conduct, you need to involve the people who are going to be coded against. and this hasn't happened. The other thing is a lot of our folks who are at the senior center are folks that are suffering from from dementia, from memory problems. They don't understand a lot of the things that have written it down, and yet they've signed the forms. And I have a group that meets there twice a month, and the caregivers come and bring their person with dementia, and we have a lovely lunch and a lovely time to get together. But they don't understand a lot of things that are happening. I advocate for this group and have for the last 35 years since I've been here in St. Mary's for 20 years. And I think we really need to take a look at the population we're serving, their input that's precious, and the fact that they've given so much to this community over the years, either in service in the military or in the community, that we offer and need to offer them the kind of understanding and a place for them to have some real enjoyment for the times that they have left. So I am glad it was tabled, and I'm glad you'll have a chance to take a look at this and think about what really needs to happen to our seniors. Thank you so much.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Hello, Mr. Mayor, Council. I'm Sally Belavko. Thank you for this opportunity. I live at 404 Anchor Way. I am a member of your DDA, and I just wanted to kind of update you on a couple of things that have been going on through Main Street and the DDA lately. We had an incredible weekend this past weekend. Thanks to the help of Candace and Nicole, we were able to put on a silent disco. The Camden County Association of Realtors put on a silent disco as a fundraiser at Orange Hall. And that felt so special to be one of the few organizations that's been out there. On the lawn in the back, we did silent disco. Don't know if you're familiar with that, but everyone's wearing a headset, and there's a DJ. We had DJ TJ, our local DJ, out. 3 different channels, so everyone's dancing, but you might be dancing to something different than the person dancing next to you. But it was a great way to bring people out for something different, have an exciting night out in St. Mary's that didn't disturb the neighbors. So we were really pleased with the response to the first time we've ever done anything like that. And we're so grateful for Candace's help in making that happen. As you know, Orange Hall does not have power out on the lawn. So there were some last minute changes to make that happen. So we appreciate her for that. On Saturday night, we did something different. We did something called a progressive dinner in downtown St. Mary's. So what that meant is that we met at the amphitheater where we had live music. A new band to St. Mary's played, and they were incredible. And then 32 of our fellow citizens met and took out golf carts, and together we ate at 4 separate St. Mary's restaurants. So we started at local Stockside for appetizers, headed down to the brand new cafe at Cottle and Gun for the most delicious salad that anyone's ever had. I just heard over and over how great it was. Then we went to the Firefly for an entree and finished up the night at Sweet Luncheonette, so our high-end bakery downtown. And then after everyone was done there, they headed back to the waterfront for a concert that ended at 10 o'clock. Turned in their golf cart keys and left. We had 32 participants. We had a boat of participants come from Cumberland Harbor to join. We had our Mayor Pro Tem supported the organization and came for this first night, and it was just across the board incredible feedback, and so we're waiting on some survey responses too to see how we can improve that for the future. But for the long wait list that we had of people who wanted to join and couldn't, I'm happy to announce that we decided at the DDA meeting this morning that the next one would be on February 15th, and those tickets will be out soon. We actually had one of our restaurateurs come to the DDA meeting this morning, and she shared with us something that gave me chills. I looked at Candace, she had them too. She said that she was speaking with one of her restaurant partners up in St. Simon's and was telling them about Savor St. Mary's, our progressive dinner, and that restaurant owner said, I just wish we could do something like that here in St. Simon's. That sounds so cool, but our restaurants won't work together. And so for us, it was just this moment of, okay, things are really starting to happen in St. Mary's. I had somebody come up to me on Friday night at the silent disco, and he said, I don't know what it is, man, but St. Mary's feels like it's getting real cool. And that is just something that you just don't hear all the time, and it's so exciting to hear it. Just to kind of piggyback on Mr. Hahn's discussion, there are just such big things happening. Some creative people in this community are bringing incredible new events. On that note, we are going to have our first ever Polar Plunge as a fundraiser on January 1st. Details for that should be out in the next 2 weeks. We believe that that's going to be at the Aquatic Center. There will be a children's version potentially and an adult version, but again, we're working out those final details and we're excited to release that. There will be a costume contest, so I can't wait to see all of you at the Polar Plunge to ring in the new year. And then as just on a personal note, I just wanted to let you know that we have all heard the reputation that St. Mary's has had, and we all know how it is improving. And I wanted to let you know that my daughters recently started a business, and they are the first youth licensed business in St. Mary's and the first youth members of the Chamber of Commerce. And I wanted you to know this because when they applied for their business license in the Main Street office with Candace and Nicole, they they had their license the next day. They sat down with the girls, they're 13 and 14, they discussed the application process, what would be expected from them, made sure everything was right, and just as easy as it could possibly be to start a business in St. Mary's. And so I'm so proud to be a resident here, to be on the DDA, and to be working with these incredible people. I think things are really changing, so.
Thank you for the good news.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Sally.
Who's next?
Roger Shaw, 30 Marymount Court, St. Mary's. I wanted to bring to the attention of the city council a problem that we have there on Winding Road and Spur 40 or Charlie Smith Highway with the speed reduction zones there during the school time from 7:45 to 8:45 in the morning and from 3 to 4 in the afternoon. As you're traveling east on Winding Road, there, as you approach the Dollar General and the gas station, they have a sign that says school, 35 miles an hour. There's no time, anything listed there, just says 35. And it's, when cars are coming in and out both directions, it's very hard to keep track of what you're doing because you're looking at the traffic crossing both ways. Then when you get to Charlie Smith Highway, you're turning either south or north, and the cars turning north block the view from the cars turning south. As you get a clear area, start turning south and merge into that area, there is a sign there that says school, and there's another sign that's about this by this that says when the times are. And that's right after you have the Sunoco station getting traffic in there and out of there, and traffic coming down the road. So it's very confusing. Now that more and more people are moving into the new developments in that area, I've been talking to them, the older residents have moved out. The younger residents are all getting tickets because they don't get it. And they wonder why they can't have the flashing lights there at that intersection like they do at Sugar Mill up on Winding Road. I don't think it would take that much to put the flashing lights in. Then you're not looking at your clock or looking at your watch to see if you're within the time limits. I just like to bring it to the attention, and maybe some of you folks from the city council could go out and try and navigate that area at those times and see what you think. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Who's next? Yes, sir.
Well, I wasn't going to get up and say anything, but then Robbie stole my thunder. And I might be wrong here, but I talk so much about this particular sign on the off-ramp from St. Mary's Road to 40. I think somebody turned that sign 90 degrees. Because it used to be, you'd go by it and it was this way. And now it's perpendicular to the road. It's still in the wrong spot, but looks like somebody was trying. The solar field. I'm almost positive that I was either at a meeting in this room with y'all or it was the planning department, but the solar field was discussed. And one of the things that was discussed was they wanted to make sure that there'd be a vegetative barrier between the solar field and the road. And it's not there. And if it's going to be big enough to block the view, they're going to have to plant a whole bunch of fairly large shrubs over there. Okay. The other thing is the senior code of conduct. It's good that we're going to look at it closer, but I'm not sure. You have to be 55 to get in over there? Is that the age? 60. Okay, well, that's even worse. Well, I read that thing and I kind of felt like they were talking to somebody way younger than me. And my wife wanted to talk about it and I said I needed a few minutes. If there's going to be some serious discussion about it, I think you ought to take a serious look at the language because you're not talking to a bunch of little kids. Thank you.
Who's next? Yes, sir.
Hello, Willie Chain. I live at 101 Howells Drive, St. Mary's. We have business on 101 East Weed Street, Sweet Luncheonette. I was a little inspired, so I came in to try to sit and support, and I did hear some things that I liked and I wanted to reiterate. I think that as a city, we're going in a fantastic direction. I think that one of the things that we're doing well is we're trying to reinvent ourselves culturally, and we're trying to change a stigma about what there is to do in St. Mary's. And all this is ahead of what's coming, right? And what's coming is, it's transparent. Anybody here can go look at it. The strategic plans constantly bring it up, and there's no secrets. We already know what's coming. So Cumberland Inlet, we've got people buying up property left and right. We see that there's an interest in St. Mary's. Okay, now let me pivot into why I want to speak to you real quick. There's a difficulty in trying to bring one of the cultural aspects of what I think a high-end community has to offer the people, right? If you look, there's always indicators as to what feeds a group, a city, a district for enjoyment. And one of those things you can look at, you can see fine dining, right? You can see hotel and resort. Well, you also see fine wine. So I, right now, have a license to pour, over at Sweet Luncheonette. We host events, and these events, if you haven't been to one, you just have to look and find somebody who's been, because I can't tell you how many times I get people come in, and I'm from South Carolina. I've been looking for this for over a year. I've come here, and this is like home. I'm here, and you guys are passionate and purposeful and pointed in what you're trying to deliver. And this brings up the mood. This brings the people who are used to this out into the city, and they get a chance to sample what they're used to, where they come from, St. Simon, right? You think about Fernandina, you think about just some of these higher end communities where they have access, easy access to get high-end quality goods, and one of those goods being wine. So now the vector, I already have these wines, I can pour these wines, but do we want people just drinking their fill while they're out? Or do we want people to enjoy these wines culturally at home amongst friends and when they want? Well, I have a tasting, you taste what you like, but how do I sell that wine to those people? Okay, now, I've been getting a lot of support from our city. Our city clerk has been working with us to try to navigate some of the sticky situation, but it isn't the easiest thing in the world. Now, coming in front of everybody here in St. Mary's, the people that care, right? That's why we're here, and my council, I want to try to instill a positive light, and I want to try to move with good momentum before everything's too expensive, I go out of business, nobody gets a chance to try it. I want to put the culture in the home. I want to extend the experience of St. Mary's. I don't want people to think, if I can't get into this 20-person venue, I don't get a chance to try it. So how do I do that? How do I perpetuate that? I want to be able to sell these alcohols, these wines, to people so they can continue to enjoy them. These things are not, it's not liquor, right? I'm not talking about getting toasted off a Bud Light. I'm talking about selling high quality, hard work that somebody reaped from the land and put their heart and soul into. And if you're talking about a cultural district, art, right? We're talking about recreation. I think that that's important. Now, I just wanted to try to gain support. I wanted to let my voice be heard. And I just wanted to stand up for the other individuals who might be interested in having a slice of what it is I'm trying to offer. It's not easy. We already know that there's a million laws that you have to follow, and some of them are clear. Like they're not clear to understand, they're just clear and you kick them, you can't see them. So I wanted to give you that. I wanted to share my passion, and I was just really hoping that, I could, if anybody had any thoughts against it, maybe I helped bring you a little closer to center. So I'm going to continue working, and if you see my name, if you see Sweet Luncheonette show up, just kind of think a little bit, and hopefully what I said helps. So I appreciate it.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. Who's next? Okay. We are going to say thank you. Appreciate that. We will see you in 2 weeks.
I'll see you then.
All right.
Thank you, everybody, for coming.
Okay. Thank you very much, ma'am.
I was wondering who you talking to.
All right. And so, Madam Clerk, we are on our way to the calendar. And by the way, thank you, everyone. I'm sorry, lost my manners, for coming up, speaking, and giving us perspective and giving us good vibes. Thank you. It's not easy, but it's true. So, anyhow. And Mr. Blackerby?
Amen.
Welcome.
You didn't forget him.
All the way down from Brunswick. Got the breadcrumbs down there so you can find your way back. Okay, good. All right. All right, Madam Clerk, how about the calendar, please?
Yes, sir. Tomorrow, on Tuesday, November the 19th at 1:30 p.m., Tree Board has scheduled a special call meeting in the Planning Building Office Conference Room. Also, the CVB has rescheduled their meeting, which was supposed to be the week of Thanksgiving, till tomorrow, Tuesday the 19th at 3:30 p.m. And the CVB, they are going to be at the Ward Hernandez Building, the regular location again tomorrow, Tuesday the 19th at 3:30. CVB will be meeting. On Friday, November the 22nd at 9 a.m., St. Mary's Municipal Court, here in Council Chambers, which will be trials followed by the 11 o'clock a.m. plea and arraignments. On November the 26th, and Council Chambers at 2 o'clock, 2:10, 2:20, and 2:30. And we have bid openings, invitation to bid for the LMIG projects. Also, all four for LMIG projects. Then at 3:30 p.m., again, that was the meeting that was supposed to be at the CVB meeting, which was rescheduled to the 19th. And at 5:30 p.m. here in Council Chambers, again on Tuesday the 26th, is a historic preservation meeting. On Thursday and Friday, November the 28th and 29th, St. Mary City buildings will be closed in observance of Thanksgiving. On a Monday, December the 2nd at 6 o'clock p.m., City Council meeting, sir.
All right, thank you very much. All right, and so we're going to start out with Mr. Jones.
Yes, sir. Oh.
Anything you'd like to say?
It's a lot I'd like to say, but I'll kind of just keep it short. First thing I'd like to say
I'm writing that down.
Thank you, sir. The DDA lady, I didn't get your name, but don't be surprised if your solar plunge have temperatures of about 90 degrees, because we usually have that around Christmas time. You know, everything will get cold for a while and then it'll get. But I'm hoping it'll have a big turnout, and I just want to give my love and respect for all of the boards that we have, because these boards and committees that they really spark us into doing some great things for the city of St. Mary's. Steve, when he was talking about some of his friends came down, I invite people down and they have the same feeling. This is a great place. People, I'm gonna just call Mr. White out since he don't mind me picking on him, but the citizens that come out and express themselves, and let us know some of the things that's going on that we don't normally see, people don't normally let us know about, except, when it comes to social media and then it's negative. We really appreciate y'all coming to the meetings and giving us kind of a little bit of feedback on the thing that's going well and the thing that's going bad. Thank you, Mayor.
Mr. Connor.
Well, I just wanted to say thank you to everybody tonight, and the young man that just came up here and spoke at the Sweet Luncheonette, I hope I said that correctly. I just asked Chad, I said, where is that place? And he told me, I've never been there, but I'm going to tell you something. I'm going to make an effort to take my wife there. And what all type of food did you say you have there?
We do wedding cakes. We're only open on First Friday, but you can see us during our events. If you check us out on Facebook, we got one Friday.
Okay, sounds good, because we certainly want to do everything local. I mean, that's the way I am anyway. If we're going to do, my wife and I, we try to do everything we can local. Steve Hahn and Artie and Robbie do a great job with the PSA, and I just want to say thank y'all tonight about that. And that's something we didn't talk about tonight, but I appreciate your service on the PSA and the things that you've got done while you've been on there as well. But I just strive to do the very best I can on City Council, and if you've ever got a question for me, please feel free to ask. I'll do my very best to answer your questions. Right now, I'm answering a question from someone in the community that I'm going to call when I get home that I just talked to someone on staff about this afternoon. So if you happen to have a question, you can certainly direct it toward me, and I'll do my very best to answer it, or I'll find the answer for you. Thank you.
All right.
Yes,
Yes, sir. Mr. Ingram.
Thank you. I just wanted to comment that it's very exciting. I'm looking forward to the website and actually being able to click around on it myself. That's been a long time in the works, but it is very much improved. It's a lot more modern looking. It also looks like it's going to be functional. I think that staff understood the assignment. Everything we discussed, it appears to have that, but the next step is just making sure we maintain it, which we've made a commitment to do so, making sure the information is current. And that's just a good landing page for the city. Hopefully, it takes to the public, everybody shares the page, and being a lot more functional page with better updating of current projects. Because that's one thing we struggle with, is a lot of the public just feels like, it's not a transparent situation with the city at times, even though we come to these meetings and we may discuss it a couple of times. And not everybody watches this and this doesn't get out. So that would be a spot where, project timelines and updates, so your questions should be answered right there. And just looking forward to seeing how that, helps the city actually having a nice, good looking and functional website. Good job, staff, and thank you on that. I actually had written down to just, even though he left, comment on Mr. Hahn. Coach Connor just did a litk bit there on, thank him for his service on the PSA board. And I was just going to thank him for his great job he does as the chair of DASM and the PSA board and his commitment to the city. So, if he doesn't believe me, I can just tell him I thanked him up here since he left. Vote. Somebody mentioned that in public comments. I've been a part of them as far as, a special or runoff election. The voter turnout is low. It's a very important election. Make sure you show up and, vote for who you feel would do the best job for our mayor and council races. Every vote counts, so we definitely don't want this election to go unnoticed, and make sure that it does do a true will of the public. I also had written down to comment on Sweet Luncheonettes, and feel free to reach out to me anytime or whatnot if there's any other suggestions. It's more in depth than what you just shared on the microphone, but good job there. Thank you for that and bringing it to our attention. And, the city definitely wants to be pro-local business. So if there's anything we can do to help, within reason, we want to be able to do that for you. So thank you again. And, that's all I got.
Okay. Mr. Rowley. Well, I'm going to pass, except to say that it was a very exciting meeting tonight to see many of the things that we tried to facilitate and work as a council come to fruition in some of the statements tonight. You don't often sit through a meeting where you're excited at what is being said, and I was tonight, so thank you all.
Mr. Rossi. Yeah, I got three things. One is that I want to thank our city staff for helping us facilitate the Seafood Festival date change. Because I'm telling you, it was a mess 6 weeks ago, and to see how our city staff got our city back in line, got everything cleaned up, and there was 125 vendors downtown. We lost some, but we gained some. And the vendors were very appreciative of what we did and what the city staff did to help facilitate that. I had several Kiwanians that couldn't be there, but people stepped up to the plate to facilitate that. And we are St. Mary's, and we set ourselves apart from other communities. Not picking on anybody, but the second thing is white lighting is the 4th, and so I just want to encourage you to spread the word. The city will do their part, but please, it's a really awesome festive event and a wonderful time for families. And there's something really neat happened. We've had some changes going on for Christmas in the park. And the Dixon family has stepped down from running it. So the city of St. Mary's, and I believe it was Free Studio, and there's a few other groups that have stepped up. And then they tasked me with getting hot dogs. 2,000 hot dogs. And we had one person buy 2,000 hot dogs. He's got his freezer stacked full. And then Winn-Dixie Kingsland, soon to be Aldi's, they called me up today and they donated 2,000 ballpark Frank hot dog buns. And it's all about the kids. And that's what makes St. Mary special, is taking care of the kids. And as well as yourselves. And on that note, I'm done.
Okay. John, I'd like to say one thing, if I could. I just want to say something about Rassie. Rassie does a lot for this city that a lot of people don't see. That's all I'm going to say. He's always cooking for somebody. He's cooking for the quarterback club. If not, he's doing this, that, or the other. And Alan, I appreciate what you do for the city and for the kids in this community, because from the quarterback club all the way down, you've put your heart in it. Thank you.
Okay. One other thing too, Mayor, that I have to say, and the reason why I asked them about the website, if they'll have the history of St. Mary's on there.
It's a good idea.
Is because
you were there at the beginning?
No, sir. But we had tags, second oldest city in the United States.
Yeah.
And a teacher of mine said, that's a lie.
Yeah.
But it's the truth, but it's not true. And if you look at the history of it, I'd like for it to be reflected in the...
It's a nice license plate, too.
Yes, I still have one. Yes and no.
Yeah. Okay. So I've got to run through a lot of things. White lighting on Wednesday, and it's so much fun. And Santa,
ho ho ho,
We'll be, lighting the tree, and there'll be music and everything, so please come if you can. And on this polar plunge, I think we have a council person that would be really ought to volunteer for that polar plunge.
I think that too. We told Chad, Chad is the young.
No. All in favor, say aye. Aye.
Aye. Okay, thank you. The berm is coming for the solar farm, or?
Oh, the vegetative buffer is coming, and it's a public utility. They have a public power purchase agreement with Georgia Power.
That's going to do it.
Yeah, not the base.
Okay, thank you. And the City Hall sale starts when? What time?
9 a.m. I wrote that down. 21st.
The sale, when it's open to the public, buying ones and twos, that will be from 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. on the 21st.
9 to 10. Okay. All right, everybody got that?
Go buy a bunch, wait until after lunch.
Yeah, okay. All right, voting, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday before Thanksgiving, or Tuesday, 12/3, the election day. So, and as Chad said, if anybody's looked at any of the stats for runoff elections, please vote. Please come and vote. It's so important. Thanksgiving's coming up. Happy Thanksgiving, everyone. And thank you for the Seafood Festival. It was a lot of fun, and there were a lot of people there.
And there were no bugs. No bugs.
Yes.
No bugs.
All right. Now, that said, unless there's something else, may I have a motion?
So moved.
Mr. Jones on the second.
Second.
Mr. Rassi, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstained? Madam Clerk, that's unanimous. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Chad. It's a great meeting.